My name is Aristotle. Now, I was born in 384 BC in Stagira, Macedonia. This is in northern Greece. My father was a personal physician to the king of Macedon. So I came from a great family. And as I grew up, eventually when I came to the age of 17, I decided to enroll, and to leave my home in Plato's Academy, which was in Athens. So I left my home and went south to attend this academy. Now, at this time, other schools of education, higher education, existed, like Pythagorean's school and others. However, at this time, the greatest and the one that taught the most subjects was Plato's, and so that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to learn from the best. Now, I went to enroll, and the point of this academy was mostly to encourage philosophical and political thought. Although many subjects were taught there: music, mathematics, and others. Now, obviously at this time, there wasn't an idea of public education. In fact, my mentor, Plato, who I became very close with, was the one who kind of started this idea of public education, and to serve a very specific purpose. However, that's not so much my agenda as Plato's. However, eventually, after the death of Plato, I left the academy. I thought I would be put in charge, but I wasn't. I was instead, Plato was replaced by his nephew. However, I eventually became the tutor to Alexander the Great. And now that you know a little bit about me, where I got my education, I want to share my ideas, things that I learned from my great mentor, who I greatly respected, Plato, and things that I thought similar to him, and things that I kind of disagreed with or thought differently about. Now, I believe, and I wrote this down, these ideas in a book called the Nicomachean Ethics. So I wrote these ideas down. I greatly encourage everyone everywhere to read this book. I believe that everything has what's called a telos, or natural goal, like the end goal for our lives, right? For a fish, it's to be the greatest form of a fish that it can be, or a lion to be the greatest form of a lion. And obviously for humans, it is being the greatest kind of human that we can possible. And when we achieve this, being an outstanding human and also having an outstanding life, we can achieve what I call eudaimonia, which is basically what people today might call true happiness. Now, how do we become an outstanding human? Or how do we live an outstanding life? Now, this is achieved by gaining the most knowledge that we can. I guess I can come back to that in a moment, but I also set the foundations of logic. And I started thinking of ways to prove that statements were true or false, or how to make a sensible argument, essentially. Now, my 3-step deductive reasoning that I created is called syllogism, or syllogism, not sure. But basically, there's three ways to kind of decide whether a statement is true or false. Now, for example, you could say all kangaroos are marsupials, and then you could say all marsupials are mammals. So from those two statements, I can come to the conclusion that all kangaroos are mammals. Because if it's a marsupial, which all kangaroos are, then it is also a mammal. This kind of reasoning is something that I came up with. And also, I started to think about contradictions. Now, logic comes from consistent thinking, and if a statement contradicts itself, then it can't be true. A statement cannot be true and also be counted as false. So you can't say God exists and also say that he does not. It's either one or the other. Let's see. Now, as I was saying earlier, the way that we reach eudaimonia is by reaching the highest point, the highest form of a human that we can, right? And so to be an outstanding human, you have to be excellent in mind, body, character, and to live an outstanding life, you have to have outstanding status, wealth, health, knowledge, and all these things. How you reach these outstanding qualifications is through education. And I guess I should have mentioned earlier that much of the education of my day was through discussion. It was all through asking questions and discussing in groups, questioning one another's ideas, what is true, and that's how we got our knowledge, along with the different subject matters. But I believe that all people should be educated and should focus on gaining political knowledge, along with other knowledge. Like, we need to be involved and understanding in our government. Otherwise, we kind of fail at reaching that eudaimonia, that highest level of human achievement. And the highest form of human excellence is through intelligence, above all else. And so if we focus all our thinking, all the thinking possible on the noblest ideas in our lives, eventually we will be able to imitate those ideas. And so obviously the best way to reach this level is to be a philosopher, because all we do is think and question and observe what goes on around us. So I encourage you all to become philosophers, to be able to question, to be able to reach that outstanding level of human achievement. Thank you.